you'll find it's quite easy after you've done it and the self shrinks a bit. It's not easy. But once you've done it, you find that you can do it. You get the strength that you've been putting out as energy. That energy is contained, and that helps you to have the strength then. So I'm very pleased to hear that. The desire to be liked, and the need to please people, because we want them to like us. Whereas really, if you were just what you are, why wouldn't people like you? It's because we've got an idea of personality, contact. And the thing in the spiritual life is to, as much as possible, give up personality, which is self-assertion, as much as possible, and just be what I am. And that's a very lovely thing. It's a great freedom to just be what I am, and yet be my sweet nature. Yes, indeed. So thank you. Yes, please, this lady here.
Thank you. Do you hear me? Okay. What I have found is that I'm quite disappointed being here. I listen to these people and I recognize a lot of things that they are going through. But I don't get inspired, really. I don't really get inspired by you, to be honest. I came here in my search for God. I don't feel any nearer to God. I don't feel any nearer to God when I'm around you. And that makes me feel very disappointed. I'm really trying to open myself up, and I'm really looking into it, like, okay, is there any block in me, blah, 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 blah. I understand that. But it's just not happening for me, and that makes me disappointed. I don't have any problems in my life as such. I have a wonderful love.
You don't have any problems in your life? I think you had a big problem in your life. Now, what is it? Why don't you be honest with me? How's your love life?
Good.
Pardon?
I think it's good.
It's good?
Yeah, I think
your love
so.
life is good?
Yeah.
You have harmony between you and your partner?
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time? Why not all the time? What happens between you and your partner? Is he unhappy with you?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No. But,
You see, you are the problem. There's no problem here. You are the problem. You are the blockage. You have a problem in your life somewhere or other. You are not loving, and you are not being loved, and you are not open, because you're looking for something. You want to get something. Now, while you want to get something, in your love life you'll look for something. In everything you'll be looking for something, and you'll always be disappointed. You must live a very disappointing life. Do you? Things don't really fulfill you, because you're looking for satisfaction, for something, and you're not going to get it. You have to give up. You've got to give up expectations. You've got to give up being satisfied. You've got to give up being disappointed. These are all emotional reactions. Disappointment. I mean, if you get disappointed about anything, the whole of life is disappointing. You're going to die. How about that? I mean, every lover is going to fail you in some way or other. Everything. So if you get disappointed, you're going to live a life of disappointment. And people are not going to like you either very much. And that will disappoint you too. And friendships will fail unless you join in their particular way of doing things. It's you that is the problem. But you're not telling me what the problem is in you. What is it? I'm yearning for love. I'm yearning to give. I'm yearning something. There's something in you that wants something. Why don't you tell me what your main problem is?
I don't really find this very helpful, to be honest.
Okay, then that's fair enough. Now, I'll tell you what. If you'd like to go We will refund the money that you haven't spent up to today. Okay? You can go. You'd be silly to stay here. Really silly to stay here and be bored and disappointed and unhelped, because that will create a sort of a disappointment in you. No, I don't want you to be disappointed. I think you should take your money and go where you won't be disappointed.
I'll think about that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, that would be the obvious thing. If you're disappointed, you're not getting anything out of it, and it's a failure to you, I don't inspire you, the space doesn't inspire you, well then, for God's sake, never stay in that sort of place. Be off where you can get what you're looking for. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, would you pass it to the gentleman in front of you?
Okay. I have a great disturbance in me, Barry. 6 months ago, I left another teaching because I didn't want to give what was being asked of me, and this troubles me a lot. It's constantly with me, and I felt that I had been with your teaching before. I had been making love with my wife, and I felt at that time that was what I wanted to do, because what was being asked of me was to leave that, to move further into a community environment, and I decided that at that time I couldn't do that. But even so, that's often with me. It often troubles me, and I've been practicing what you've been teaching, stillness.
Listen, let's stop this nonsense. What was the teaching? What teaching?
Teaching of Andrew Cohen.
Who?
Andrew Cohen.
Andrew Cohen, right. Now, why don't you, as soon as you finish here, go back and join Andrew Cohen? Simple. Then you won't be disturbed or feel awful about having left. Why? Why not? I mean, if Andrew Cohen's got the truth for you in what he says, why don't you go and follow it and do it? This sounds crazy to me. You got a disturbance because you left. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, just like you've heard me say to the man who's thinking about his ex-lover, then you better get back there, because otherwise you're going to be disturbed. My teaching is never going to satisfy you, because my teaching is not the same as Andrew Cohen's. I think communities are crutches for everybody in them. There is no truth in a community. The truth is inside of you, and you don't need to lean on someone else and have very thoughtful discussions about God or truth. You have to do it on your own. But that's my teaching. To make a man or a woman of you. It is my life, not a communal life. You'll be alone when you discover the secret of life, and you'll be alone when you discover the secret of death. So what's this communal bullshit? Ashrams. Ashrams. Never seen anything of any value come out of an ashram. Nothing. Except people who can't just enter the arena and just be alone in the midst of their own lives. Now, I suggest to get rid. I know you're serious, and I'm not making fun of you. But I am going to point out to you that if you have a yearning to do something, go and do it. If you want to go to South America and you've always yearned to go to South America and you continue to think about it, well, damn it all, go to South America. That'll get rid of it out of you. And we've got these thinkers in us, these emotions, always thinking what I would like to do and what I wouldn't like to do. You've got to take action and do it. Then you might be able to come back and listen to some sense from me. But as it is, you won't be able to, because you feel guilty in some way or other.
That's true, yeah.
Well, guilt is suffering.
Yes.
It's thinking. Isn't it? So tell me, what do you see then? What do you see?
Well, I see at the point I was at, it's still the same moment that I was being asked to give something, and there was tremendous fear because I saw that it was to give up my attachment.
Give up your attachment to what?
I couldn't see clearly. It was
No, but there's the communal offer from Andrew Cohen. What stopped you from going there? What attachment?
I didn't want to give up spending time with my family.
How many is your family? What's that consist of?
My wife and daughter.
Well, does the community mean that you've got to give up your wife and daughter?
No, that wasn't. But in terms of time and practical circumstances, I couldn't see how I could do it. So there was this dilemma in me about.
So now you're confused. You've got two wants. You want to be with Andrew Cohen and you want to be with your family. Which is the biggest yes? You better find out fast and do it. And drop this guilt. And don't come to me again until you're free of this need of crutches, of communities. Otherwise, you'll continue to feel guilty as though you didn't express your life. See?
That's true.
Good.